All right, guys, so check it out. Today we have an unboxing of the Concord 27.5 commuter step over electric commuter bike from Walmart. I just picked this up today and we're going to unbox it now. Here. Box. Let me just- What's in here? Where they go? Pretty good? Yeah, I think so. Pedals, reflector, bell, pretty cool. Plastic pedals, I don't love that, but whatever. What else do we have? Ooh, I think we have tools. I got tools, but tools here already. Yeah, we got tools. What else did we get? Okay, we got Allen keys, tiny little Allen key, bigger Allen key with a Phillips end, a skewer. I'm assuming is for the front wheel. A little tightener for the pedals. Another larger Allen key and a mid-range Allen key. Cool. Let's see what else we have. Appreciate they pack this better than they typically do. Nothing in that. Let's see if we can get this whole thing out. Just so you can see real quick what it looks like with it in the box. All right, this is how it comes in the box. Kind of looks like some of it has the tape undone already, which might be from something I pulled out or shipping, but we'll see. Let's see if we can get it out. Here we go. Both sides of it. And let's see if we can make it stand. Seems like it stands a little bit. Whoop, whoop. All right. Let's leave it up here. Let's see if we can start taking some of these zip ties off. I would say, just judging by looking at it quickly, it's pretty well packaged. And we'll find out if there are any issues soon enough. Do you think it's cool? This versus the hyper bikes, this actually comes with the tools. The hyper bikes that I've had or that I purchased in the past didn't come with the tool. So that's a plus. Good video on it now. You want to come over to the bike? I think I want to go get car. That? Yeah, I'm recording it right here, so anything that you do or say is going to be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. What's that? Say again? You're doing the e-bike? Yeah. The playbook. This looks pretty much done. Let me get this wheel off of here. You can see this wheel is also just down this up. Just in case you wonder what I'm fumbling around with over here. I do like that they had the fenders wrapped, but I do worry that that might be a little bent just because of where it's placed. We shall see. It's interesting how this company seems, Concord seems to use more cardboard than plastic. I like that from a perspective of just being able to throw it away and it degrading versus the plastic. Right. 27.5-inch wheel, 36 volts, 20-mile battery life, 20 mile per hour top speed, class 1, 350-watt motor, rider height 5'1" to 6'1". Pretty sweet. Liking these rotors and these disc brakes too. Right. Almost done. Pulling off the packaging. Take off, just plug it up. We'll start building this thing up. I probably should put the battery on the charger. I probably won't do that right away. Some really heavy duty board. So when I say it's cardboard versus styrofoam, I'd say it's not a bad thing, it's probably a good thing. We'll say just looking at it, the frame feels a little small. We will see when we put it all together. What is this? It's a no, it's a light. That's interesting. My other bikes do not come with light. I wonder if this is wired to the battery. That would be super cool. Right. Cool. So, do a little cleanup. And then start putting it together. Come with a little bag too. We'll see what's in that in just a second. There's the info plate on it right here. If you want to stop that and take a look at it. All right, so it looks like it is a perfect for commuting and errands around town. 36 volt, 350 watt rear hub, high speed brushless motor, 36 volts, 10.4 amp hours, lithium ion integrated. Well, it says integrated, but I think you can pull it out. Durable aluminum alloy frame, smooth Shimano 7-speed thumb shifter, mechanical disc brakes, 27 by 1.95-inch tires, double wall alloy rims. Pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna start putting the stuff together. Turn that neck around. Okay. Well, I would say that the majority of this is already together. I think really all we have to do is put the front wheel on and then put the handlebars on, and we would be good to go. Maybe tighten some stuff up. Let's check it out. All right, so let's back these neck bolts off. Sorry if I got any background noise. I'm not at my typical filming spot. I'm up north. Typically, I do these videos in Texas. I am in Iowa right now, visiting family. So I decided to grab this bike, which doesn't seem to be available down in Texas whenever I search for it, but it is definitely available up here in Iowa. And one thing that I've been noticing is that they don't sometimes have these e-bikes out on the floor, but if you look in the app, they are available. And I'm not sure if they're supposed to let me have the bike without it being put together, but I got there and they said that I would have to wait until the next day or wait until the person who I guess puts their bikes together came so that I could get the bike. And I told them I'd rather just take the bike in the box. That way I can do my unboxing video. That would be great. Or that was a great part of it. And the fact that I got it today versus tomorrow. Really what prompted me to do this was, one, I wanted to do another video for you guys, but two, I wanted to have a bike that I could ride up here during my stay up here. And I know I could have brought one of my other bikes. I know you guys have been watching those videos, but I decided I'd take the chance on a bike that seems like you can only get it up here, and give you guys a bit of a review on it and see what you guys think about it. And I probably will end up leaving this bike up here for me to ride long term whenever I visit. Because I'm always finding myself wanting to ride when I come up here. It's beautiful weather this time of year. Texas is just starting to heat up, get a little bit too hot. It's about 90 degrees this weekend. And here, right now, it is 71. Amazing. All right. So right now I'm putting these neck bolts on. If you've never done this before, put them on finger tight first. And then once you get them on finger tight, tighten them up in kind of like a crisscross pattern or like an X pattern. I think I'm about to have a few more people in the video, so sorry for the extra noise and the extra people. And what's cool about the bars is it has like this little pattern on it, so you can center it and then use the crosshairs to like move it up or down. I tend to like to have it move forward a little bit extra compared to most, and I like to put it to where these brake levers are kind of makes it down a little bit. Between the two. That way there's like an equal gap on the bottom and the top between the two. That's pretty obvious to someone who's put a bike together before. For anybody who's not put a bike together before, that's obvious. really going to be testing the background editing feature on this camera to see if it's editing out the dogs. If it's not, then I also have some fur cousins visiting. So sorry about the extra noise. All right, so we're gonna tighten this up. When you tighten it up, don't over tighten it. Make sure that you do the little X pattern and get it each one of them tight enough where you can just kind of twist it easily with your wrist. But if you get to the point to where you're really having to torque on it, it might be you could over tighten it. So just be cognizant of that whenever you're putting these on. And also, I would say don't tighten it down to the extent of like the final tighten, only because you're going to probably ride the bike, and then 5 minutes into it, you're going to want to change the position of these bars. So before you tighten that down, finally, just do it a little bit where it's snug, where it'll hold. Definitely don't do it to the point where it's loose. Okay. So this neck is a little loose, and it's actually a different Allen key. So I'm going to turn that, get this other Allen key. I think this is the bigger one. And yeah, that's the proper size. So what you want to do whenever you're doing this is you want to line that front fork up with the headset. And then as soon as you have those two in line, the fork and this headset, kind of like that. Or at least the way you're looking at it. Both of them are pointed directly forward for me. And you probably won't get it right, exactly right the first time. So just try to get it as right as you can, and then ride the bike, and then back these off, tighten it back, turn it, adjust it, and then tighten it back down over your first ride. Surprisingly, I would say ease of build, like on 1 to 10 scale compared to the other bikes that I've done. I would say the other bikes that I did are probably like somewhere around like for someone who's never done it before, maybe like a 6 or 7. This bike is, I'd say it's like a 4. It's pretty easy. Just gotta tighten some bolts down. I mean, it was the majority of it was already put together. You really don't. I really didn't have to have any intimate bike knowledge at all to do this. All right, so we've got that tightened down. Now we're gonna put the front wheel on. But whenever you put that front wheel on, make sure that you're ready to put the kickstand down, because it's gonna fall over if you don't. All right, so let's take this plate out of here. And what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you line up. Well, before you do that, you're going to take out the existing little, I don't know what to call this. It looks like an axle, kind of, but it's just a little plastic piece. So I'm going to take that out. And I think I'm going to need my skewer, which is this front wheel skewer. And typically, I think the fasteners go on the drive side of the bike. So this is the little thing I was talking about. It has 2 bolts on either end. Let's unbolt that. Take this skewer. And you know what? I've not really looked it up before, what side the skewer goes in on, but I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it from the brake side. I don't know if that's right. If it's wrong, I'll get back on here and let you guys know. Okay, so it looks like you can set it on there pretty easily. Right. So if you didn't know as well, when you're putting in the skewer, you're going to take off this fastener, and then you're going to take off one of the springs. Then you leave the one spring on, put the other spring on this side, and then twist this little this little plastic nut on. And you want to keep this, oh, this is kind of tough because the bike is trying to move around on me. I'm going to put the kickstand down, but don't want to drop the bike. Cool. All right, so now I don't have to deal with that. Tighten this up. Keep this little tab out straight. And then whenever you get it tight to where you think it is, or think it should be, do a little bit more, and then push this down. I like to put it in line with a fork. Just looks a little bit better. I don't think it actually helps anything. All right, and also whenever you're putting this on, you want to make sure that you line this disc brake up in between the pads on the disc brake. All right, and now I realize I put the front wheel on and didn't put the light in the right spot, so take that back off. Make sure you put this light in front of the wheel before you put it back on, before you put it on. The whole thing about a skewer setup is you can just loosen that off, and then it's loose. You can pull it up out of this skewer, and then pull that out. There we go. And then put the skewers right back on. Oh boy. I say it's like it's easy. It is not as easy as I thought it was. Going to be. Come on. Oh, that's because the brake pads are not lined up. Okay. Yeah, yet again, line up with the brake pads. Put the skewers back in, tighten it up a little bit. Put this straight out. Wow, right out. Put that in line with the fork. It's not tight enough. You want it to be pretty snug. It doesn't have to be so snug that you have trouble tightening or tightening it down. It needs to be snug enough that it fights you a little bit while you're trying to close it. Cool. And then finally, it looks like we have to put this light on. I think that's going to take either this one or this bigger one. Let's see. It looks like, keep in mind, I haven't looked at any of the documents on this. I'm just kind of going with the flow. So it looks like there's a lock nut on the back. So, all right, so you're gonna have to have a wrench for the back and then use your Allen key at the same time. I don't know if this wrench is gonna work, but we'll see. Looks like the smallest one might work for it. Cool, yeah. That is right. So you're gonna take the middle size of the Allen. You're gonna take the smallest portion of this little wrench deal, put it on the back here, and remove this lock nut. When I call it a lock nut, what that means is it's got like nylon in there. And so when you tighten it on, it holds it in place so it doesn't come off or back off. It's a little bit of a pain because of that. That's the bad thing about having a lock nut. It stays on there really good until the very end, so it's not going to come off. But because of that, it's tough to take off. You can't just twist it off with your fingers like you would a nut once you get it loosened off. This, you have to go all the way to the end before you can get it off. Okay. So now, just keep in mind whenever you're doing this, there are washers on both sides. I haven't looked at how to put this on here. I'm just going to go with what I think is the case. And you just loop it through there. Put these washers and the lock nut back on just like they were. Assuming this is just going to point straight up. like that. We shall see. Okay. So now we're going to repeat the process. You're going to take this wrench right here, put it back on that lock nut. And then you're going to take your medium Allen key and you're going to tighten this down all the way to the point where this thing is tight. Oh, goodness gracious. And you want to make sure that you get your lock nut on there the right way too. Looks like I got it going pretty good. Sorry for the lighting if it's starting to get dark. Oh man. This bolt is super long. It's not the end of the world, but it's just not great. So I would advise you can kind of let that light dangle for a little bit, but once you start getting it tighter and tighter, then you want to go ahead and turn it upright, and then boom. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten it all the way down. I just put this thing all the way up. When I say all the way up, I mean like it's like a little U shape like this. I just push that U all the way as high as I can in the bolt and the bottom of that U. Figure that's going to give it the best grip. Yet again, I'm going to tighten this down. I'm going to tighten this down pretty good. I don't think it has to be overly tightened just because the lock nut's not going to back off. But you definitely want your light to be secure because that's probably going to bounce around a lot being on the front end and this being a rigid fork. Cool. So now that we've got, oh, we don't have the whole thing put together. Oh no, we might have some problems because I put the front wheel on and I didn't put fender on. But before we put the fender on, let's see what's in this little pouch. Oh, user manual. That probably would have been to look at before I started doing this. And charging brick. Brand is. Let's see here. I don't see a brand on it. Li-ion battery charger model BC 266 420 200 100 to 240 volts 1.8 amps max 50 to 60 hertz output 42 volts at 2 amps. Pull up all the ones that I've seen in the past. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is put these pedals on. Whenever you put these pedals on, just make sure you look at them. Typically, there is a left and a right pedal. Well, always there is a left and a right pedal. And there's only, yeah, okay. See how it has the left, has an L on it? That means it's the left side pedal. And this ends up being the right side pedal. The way I like to remember this, well, you got a little sticker on here too. But the way I like to remember putting on the pedals is whatever side of the bike you're on, twist towards the front of the bike. And that's how they tighten. If you want to loosen them, you twist towards the back of the bike. And if you're going to ride these pedals for a long time, you might want to, from the get-go, put like grease on them. I'll probably go back and loosen it off and put some grease in there. It just keeps them from seizing up. When I say seize up, it means that like if you ever want to change the pedals out later, you really don't want these to be seized in there. And so that grease is good to keep it in good condition over a long period of time. And I would actually suggest, it's given my experience, this is the right pedal. There's an R on it. I would say use these pedals for a little bit, but as soon as you get some money, get some metal pedals with some better grip, more resilient, and they tend to hold up better if you really get to pushing the bike hard. Yet again, I'm on this right side of the bike. I'm twisting it towards the front of the bike to tighten it. If I wanted to loosen it, I would twist it towards the back of the bike. There's tons of ways to memorize that, but I found that that's the best way to do it for me. And I think this thing can be used right in these, and it can. Sweet. All right, so we're going to put that on there. Not overly tight, so as tight as you can. You want to make sure that you get these, you don't want to over tighten them, but you do want to get them snug. And you do want to start them with your fingers first, because you can strip these out. And the one thing you don't want to do is strip out your pedals, because then you're going to end up like, basically it's going to feel like the pedal is sideways while you're pedaling the whole time. And that sucks. If you ever do get into a point where you're riding the bike and you feel like the pedal is doing that, stop immediately and find a way to tighten that up, because if you don't, you'll ruin the threads, and then you got to get a new crank, which is this whole piece right here. And that's an expense you don't want to have. So, all right, those are tightened up. I'm going to adjust the seat. You just open this clamp up and then move the seat up and then tighten it back down. If it's too loose and it's not holding, like if it's doing like this while you have it closed, you want to open it up, twist this little nut right here, and then that'll help clamp down on it a little bit more. Typically, the way you want to position this, you can move the seat forward too, forward and back. There's actually a little Allen key right here. That's what probably the bigger Allen key is for, is to move this, to loosen this off and to move the seat forward and backwards. I'm going to leave it where it is for right now and just try to ride the bike. Let's just, okay, so it says we have R, G, and B. So I'm assuming red is low, green is mid, and blue is full. It's blue right now. Let's turn on the display. Cool. So it's got a full battery and a PS. How do I adjust the PS? Okay, so PS all the way up to 5. That's pretty cool. The only thing that I haven't done at this point is put on the front fender. I wish I would have done that before. And I have had issues in the past with other bikes where this front fender didn't fit on correctly. I am realizing now that that has to be put on with the light. Okay, so I'll tell you what, guys. I am going to call this good. This is pretty much getting the bike up and running. I would put some air in the tires before you ride it, and I'm going to put this fender on. What you would do is you would just essentially line these up with the skewers and then put it in, and then put the skewer through these little holes, just as you did the front fork. And then this right here, where you put this light on, you would put this little tang right behind that light and then tighten it down on it. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the video right there, and I'll probably do another video on putting these on, just a quick short video, putting the bell on, I guess putting on this, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that is the build of the bike. I appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Leave a comment below if you want to see me do anything with this bike. I'll be riding it for this week. Probably doing a couple of range tests and things like that, and I'll report back. I'm hoping to get, if I can do 10 miles a day, that'll be close to like 70 miles, maybe 80 miles this week. If I can do 10 miles a day, maybe a little extra on cool downs. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Out.